Happy Thanksgiving from Itawamba Community College. Register today for the spring semester at Wallet Hub's #1 community college in the state. Visit apply.iccms.edu to sign up today. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of the ICC Hour here being presented by Renaissance Bank, the best bank in the South. Be sure and go check them out at renaissancebank.com. Also, don't forget about Renaissance Nation for all the awesome extra videos they got there for you as well. Today is November the 26th. Man, this year has flown by. I know I kind of allude to that every once in a while, but when you stop and think about it, 2019 almost gone, and we're about to roll into 2020, so we do hope everybody's having a great Thanksgiving week and getting ready for an outstanding holiday season coming up in December. So today we've got a very busy show coming your way. We're actually going to sit down with Barry Emison, the Dean of Career Technical Education at the Belden Center. He's going to talk about a lot of things. He's going to give you an overview of what all they do at the Belden Center. He's also going to talk about some of the apprenticeships and internship programs they have there. We're going to talk about some grants, our partnership with Toyota and some other industries throughout the area, and a new program coming in the robotics and automation control technology. And then we'll also talk about some partnerships with entities like the Create Foundation and also maybe that Toyota Wellspring Educational Fund as well. We'll talk about a new hand-in-hand with Mississippi State with the BAS degree going on there. And then also, with all that, we're still going to talk about a little bit of fun. The manufacturing camp they had recently was awarded a national award there as well. And then we'll find out what ICC means to Barry. Now, this is going to be about a 4-part series that we'll take a break away from next week and then come back in December and hear all about the Belden Center. So if you want to learn more about what ICC offers over at the Belden Center, visit iccms.edu. That's iccms.edu. Also, don't forget there's still time to sign up for classes starting in January. Visit apply.iccms.edu. All right, let's go to that interview now with the Dean of Career Technology Education over at the Belden Center, Barry Emison, as you're listening to the ICC Hour here on Super Talk Mississippi, being presented by Renaissance Bank. And now we're talking with Barry Emison. Barry, before we get into the conversation, real quick, introduce yourself to everybody and kind of tell them what you do here.
My name is Barry Emison, and I am the Dean of Career and Technical Education here at Itawamba Community College.
All right, so we've got a lot of interesting things to talk about with you. You're an interesting guy.
Thank you.
Let's start with the apprenticeships and intern programs here. Just talk about that a little bit.
Okay. Well, we've actually been doing internships for several years. In fact, the 25 years I've been here, we've always tried to place students in industry and let them get that real world experience while they're going to school, so they get to earn a little while they're learning. Toyota really set the bar for us with their AMT program, their Advanced Manufacturing Technician program, and it's an innovative approach to internships. Toyota's one of their critical skills is industrial maintenance, and so if they can't hire industrial maintenance technicians, then they are basically going to not be able to produce the cars that they need to produce, and so they need those multi-skilled maintenance technicians to keep things running, to keep, when something goes down, it can't be down more than a few minutes or they're going to shut down production. So they implemented a program several years ago where they actually take applications and they interview and they select 12 a year that are going to start to work at Toyota, making $16.50 an hour. So we're talking about many times it's adults, but also just as many times it can be a high school graduate.
Right.
Graduates in May, and in August they start to work at Toyota, making $16.50 an hour. So it's a very attractive program to students and also parents. Mm-hmm. And then they come to school 2 days a week. They work 3 days a week. That really set the model for us. And Toyota's plan had always been for other companies to join that model and allow us basically to have every student in industrial maintenance have an internship. And other companies were hesitant to do that because they saw it as an expense. We're going to take entering freshmen that know nothing about industrial maintenance, and they're going to be a drain on us at least for a year. And even though we would bring Toyota to meetings and Toyota would explain that that they put them to work the first semester building cars. So they learn the processes, and they learn how things are supposed to work, and they get some production out of them until they do know enough that they can be put with a maintenance team. But companies really were very hesitant to do that, and we never could get any of that off the ground. So we actually were approached to begin with by Three Rivers Planning and Development from Pontotoc about internships and what would it take to get companies to have an AMT-like apprenticeship model. Basically, if we subsidize the salary, then we could get companies to do that. Right. So that's what we did. Through the Three Rivers help, through the help of the Community Development Foundation, we brought about 40 companies over to CDF and just asked the question, what's your most critical skill to hire? And of course, that differs based on the industry. And then we said, why wouldn't you take our students in an internship? Right. And that terminology has changed to industry recognized apprenticeship model now, but they're the same thing. Yeah. And then we are now subsidizing that through the help of Three Rivers using WIOA funds, $6 an hour, and then we get to set some guidelines then. And we talk to these industry personnel that they are now our partner in this student's educational experience. And so we know they sometimes don't bring with them those soft skills. Mm-hmm. They may not be at work on time every single day, and they're not in class on time every single day either. And we are working with them and trying to develop them so that they understand the importance of that.
Kind of give them a little bit of accountability.
Absolutely. And help develop that student as a worker, not expect that student to be that worker and with those strict guidelines that industry has, about attendance and those things. We want them to adhere to those, but we also want let me back that up because that probably sounds bad to say our students aren't going to be there on time.
Well, no, it's an unfortunate but sometimes true fact, and that's some things that unfortunately people coming up think that they know they have to be on time, but sometimes you just got to hammer that point home.
Yeah, and as this new generation, it seems to be even more of a problem. Right. So now, so I'll get back on track. So we emphasize to these employers that they are now our partner in the educational experience. And so, and with that, we want them to give us feedback, tell us where that student is lacking, where that student needs more development. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to work with that employer. And that subsidy really helps. If they pay at least $12 an hour, then we will subsidize it $6 an hour. And most average is around $14 to $15 an hour that these students are making. So this year, we're in our third year, and we were able this year to actually fill every spot. Three Rivers tells us how many positions they will fund at $6 an hour for 1,000 hours a year. And so we have funded every position. And so we're up to about 24 companies and about 70 students that we are working with.
That's pretty awesome. So one, you go to class, you get training towards the job you're going into, and you get paid to do it at the same time. Exactly. So it's one of those situations where if you're looking to go in this line of work, why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the one downside is we have more students than we have positions for them. Yeah. And that will change too. There will be companies that will recognize what a huge benefit it is, and then they actually will take on additional interns knowing they're not going to get that subsidy. Right. But it is such a huge benefit. Eventually, we hope the companies are going to recognize that they can't live without this. Right. And a real, I guess, a testament to that in the beginning was that Toyota couldn't hire every one of their interns. They'd hire about 30% of them. And the other 70% that graduated, that had that 2-year internship, apprenticeship with Toyota, other companies just gobbled them up. They were a high commodity. They realized the value of that student above all others. Right. And that really placed somewhat of a disadvantage to those that didn't have an internship. So that pushed us to do it as well. But that also tells us that companies value that internship.
Well, if there's a company that may be watching or listening right now that would be interested in getting more information on that, how would they go about getting in contact with you?
Well, my information is on the website
Right.
at iccms.edu, or you could just call the general number and ask for me, and they'll connect you. And or if you know anyone else at the college, just call anybody that you know, and just ask them about it. Get them to put you in touch with me.
Happy Thanksgiving from Itawamba Community College. Register today for the spring semester at Wallet Hub's #1 community college in the state. Visit apply.iccms.edu to sign up today. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
Get a Little Caesars large, extra most bestest stuffed crust pizza, topped with pepperoni and cheese, and stuffed with over 3 feet of cheese in the crust. That's right, we stuffed cheese into the crust of the pizza with extra cheese and the most pepperoni, all at the nation's best price of just $9. Try our convenient app and Pizza Portal pickup.
Pizza, pizza.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Maybe your story has you performing your new song in front of a crowd, getting to play your favorite sport, or enjoying a horseback ride in the country. At Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our group of skilled surgeons understand your need to continue your story. That is why we are the preferred choice for orthopedic care. Thank you for choosing us. Our story is you. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
At Itawamba Community College, your education is our top priority. With a 20-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio, you will get the help that you need from your instructors. With 3 locations in Fulton, Tupelo, and Belden, ICC offers classes that will prepare you to enter almost any job field of your choice. Learn more about Wallet Hub's #1 community college in Mississippi and the 25th best in the country by visiting iccms.edu or apply online at apply.iccms.edu. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
You live life on your own terms. You won't be told what you can't do. And we're here to back you. From the boardroom to the big stage, Renaissance Bank supports women striving for success. Because greatness isn't held to anyone's expectations, except yours. So if anyone says you can't, prove them wrong. Rise with Renaissance, supporting women in the communities they influence every day.
Obviously, that costs money, as you already talked about some of those people. And then we got a lot of just awesome things here on the Belden Center. It's one of those, we're doing some videos today to kind of highlight some of the awesome things that you guys offer here. But all that costs money, and some of the things you see in the background of this video right now cost a lot of money. And thanks to a large part of some grants that we receive, and obviously some donations as well. But let's just talk about some of those grants that have played a pivotal role in the success here on the Belden Center.
Sure, the actual room we're sitting in was a result of an ARC grant. We rely heavily on the Appalachian Regional Commission. Three Rivers Planning Development and the Community Development Foundation are huge partners with us. We are constantly looking for grant opportunities. We recently completed a $774,000 grant that came through the Mississippi Community College Board. We were able to revamp our diesel technology and our automotive technology programs on our Tupelo campus and add some trainers and equipment that we could not have otherwise purchased. And technology is ever changing. Yep. And it is really increasingly more difficult for us to keep up with that technology. And when you look around and you see these robots are changing. Yes. Every day. Mm-hmm. There are engineers around the world that are working to redesign those robots to make them better, faster, more precise. And so we absolutely have to stay in tune with what's going on in industry, because industry absolutely cannot afford not to, because you can't compete with the labor market in China. And so the only way to be competitive is to improve the processes and increase the the production using equipment, using technology. And so that's always a problem for us. So we're constantly looking for those opportunities. So recently we were awarded 2 different grants. One came through ARC and Three Rivers, and you'll notice some of the same names being mentioned over and over. So those are just our tremendous partners, and like I said, even the building that we're sitting in. And so there was a $250,000 grant that we received from Three Rivers and ARC that will be used to buy some automation equipment. Okay, so in today's world, in manufacturing, it's not like it used to be, where it is dark and dull and dreary, and as you can see in here, bright lights and clean walls and clean floors and a clean environment. And so as precision must increase, cleanliness is next to godliness. Well, it's also next to precision. If it's not clean, it's not going to be very precise. And so the manufacturing environment today is a really good place to work, and it's because of that increased technology, and businesses must keep up with that technology to be competitive. And so in order to do that, typically that means parts aren't going to be actually touched by human hands nearly as much as they used to be. And so to do that, we're going to use robots, we're going to use automated equipment, and we're going to use automated equipment and robots in sync with each other. And so we call that automation, so that you've got one programmable logic controller that's controlling every process, including other programmable logic controllers, and those are PLCs, and controlling every aspect of that operation, so that when, as much as possible, a human is going to control those processes rather than actually do the work. And it makes it a much better job. So with the Three Rivers grant, then we're going to purchase some automated trainers that will come in and already have that automated process that will have opportunity for our students to troubleshoot those processes, also program and change those processes, so that if we need that belt, if it's a conveyor belt, we need that belt to speed up, or we need it to slow down, or we can build in bugs so that something's not operating correctly. Our students will be able to go in and troubleshoot it, find what the problem is, correct that problem, and get that process back and running. So when they do get a job, when they are in an internship, and then when they graduate and they are a maintenance technician, or they are an electronics technician, or they are a robotics and automation technician, they're already going to have those experiences. It's not going to be new to them. So
kind of like that real world experience where all of a sudden you get a curveball thrown at you, like, oh, well, I did this twice in class, and this it just makes the value of that student even more for the company, because as we'll talk about numerous times when it comes to like Toyota and plants like that, downtime is losing money. And you're not in business to lose money at the end of the day. So that's what makes these students so valuable.
Exactly. And there is a troubleshooting chart that says you start here and you follow a process, and we want them also to see that they can take shortcuts possibly, but those shortcuts in the long run, over the course of many years, are going to cost them more time and more money for the company than if they follow the process. And we want them, as you said, when they get out there in industry, they're going to know they've already seen this. They're going to have that confidence, because they're getting. It's kind of like getting real world experience even while they're here in school. The other grant was one actually that Governor Phil Bryant released. We call those Governor's Reserve Funds, and they're WIOA funds that weren't expended throughout the year. And so we received another $250,000 grant from those Governor's Reserve Funds, and we're going to actually add robots into this very room. When you look around, there are several brands of robots and several types of robots, and so we were lacking in one area, and so we're going to purchase 5 Yaskawa robots. Yaskawa is a very popular brand. Toyota has some Yaskawas. Ashley Furniture is doing a $150 million automation retrofit in their Ecru plant to automate the furniture building process, and they're going to put Yaskawa robots in there. And so we use that as a catalyst in writing that grant, and we're going to purchase these robots and put them in this very room so that we can. It'll be twofold. One, we will teach our students here in the 2 programs, and a new program that we'll talk about in a minute, robotics and automation technology we're going to create. But also we'll be able to do workforce training with those Ashley employees and any other employees that need to be taught the fundamentals of the Skyward operation.
Ever since you got that license, you haven't stopped moving forward. Now that you're older and on the move, you need a safer place to keep your money. We get it. A student checking account frees you up with things like mobile check deposit to take care of that check from grandma without having to stop at a bank. Pay with your phone when you're out with friends. And stop worrying about ATM fees. We'll pay you back for those. Worry about your future, not your money. And know that we'll stick with you, wherever you go. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Maybe your story has you performing your new song in front of a crowd, getting to play your favorite sport, or enjoying a horseback ride in the country. At Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our group of skilled surgeons understand your need to continue your story. That is why we are the preferred choice for orthopedic care. Thank you for choosing us. Our story is you. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
Happy Thanksgiving from Itawamba Community College. Register today for the spring semester at Wallet Hub's #1 community college in the state. Visit apply.iccms.edu to sign up today. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
All right, so we're just talking about all the robots that are involved here at the Belden Center. Toyota donating some robots. Talk about that.
They are, and we were really excited about that. One of the instructors and I went over a couple weeks ago and looked and saw these robots are actually in operation on one of their stamping presses. And there's 2 robots and then an extra that they have. We're really excited about it. They too are Yaskawa robots. And so they're a little bigger, a little too big to go in this room.
Yeah.
But we'll put those out in our warehouse area alongside our other large robot that was donated by Mueller. We really value our industry partners for a lot of reasons, but certainly when they have equipment, and Toyota was very generous, and they are completely renovating this particular line, and so our partners there, the individuals there at Toyota realized that, hey, this is something that ICC could use to teach their students and also our interns and our future employees.
Well, it's kind of proof that what you're doing works, because these industries are reinvesting in you because they know whenever you send them somebody from here that they're going to be trained, they're going to be ready to go. So the fact that people turn around and reinvest in ICC Belden and ICC itself proves that it works.
Yeah, you need to be over here, Adam. I could not have said that better. You know, it does work, and one of the great things about our partnerships with industry, especially in the internship, apprenticeship arena, is that when we get that feedback from them, they can tell us that there's this one area that you're not teaching. If you were to spin the camera around this room, you'd see a lot of individual robots, and they are tied to a sail. In a lot of cases, you'll see belts between the two. But one of the things that Toyota told us that our students were lacking, they know how to operate a single robot, they know how to troubleshoot it, they know how to repair it, they know how to program it. But in the manufacturing world, many times you have robots working in conjunction with each other. So there are 2 robots in a single sail. Right. And they have to respect each other's zone when they're traveling. And that zone changes. As that robot moves one direction, that zone changes. And so one of the deficiencies that our students were having was not being able to recognize those zones, define those zones, and respect each other robot's zone. And so that's one of the things that Toyota began looking for robots for us, because there needed to be a cell with 2 robots in there so our students get that experience.
All right, and then a new program in robotics and automation control center, technology?
Yes, we're really excited about that. And honestly, the 2 grants that we received recently and just now implementing was kind of, it really is what made that possible. Our president, Dr. Allen, as soon as we heard that we were receiving these grants, he wanted to make a real splash, right. And the new program is going to do that. We're teaching very relevant skills in industrial maintenance technology. We're teaching very relevant skills in industrial electricity technology. And those skills overlap tremendously. But there's a little gap, and it's not a huge gap, but there's a little bit of gap where the processes are so automated that they're all controlled by those PLCs, those programmable logic controllers, and they're controlled by servos, and they're controlled by a lot of things that I don't know about because that's not my area.
Right.
I know they cost a lot of money because they send me the purchase regs. But so this is going to allow us. There's a curriculum framework out there at the state level that was created in the last year or so. That's called automation and control, and so. We're going to be able to pull some classes from that curriculum that's going to really fit hand in hand with our current existing programs in industrial maintenance and industrial electrical, so that this student will just be a little bit more electrical and a little bit higher end electrical. And so we really are excited about that. We're going to start with a cohort hopefully in the fall of 2020. We just recently received state approval for that program. We're currently working on our local approval, and then we'll work toward our accreditation agency.
All right, one thing you've referenced time and time again that's catches me really interesting is how you work with the industry, where they come back to you and say, this is what we need more attention on training. Talk about the importance of that communication, because this is an ever-changing line of work. And so to have that feedback from them and to be able to be more personalized in training, again, goes back and makes this program so valuable, not only for ICC, but for these industries.
Absolutely. Well, we value that input from industry so much that we require our instructors to have, and each program to have 2 advisory committee meetings a year. And we say require because that actually is a statewide requirement that we do that. But it is not, it's never a challenge for our programs to have 2 advisory committee meetings because they are in constant contact with these employers. I used to tell students when I taught in the machining world that they didn't have to use me as a reference when they filled out a job application, because if they're a company in this area that's going to be hiring machinists, they're going to call me because I've got that kind of relationship with that employer. And so we're constantly getting that feedback. We hear the good and the bad, and that's the kind of relationship we want. Yeah. We also want to be able to have that that same interaction with that employer. We want to be able to say to that employer if something's not exactly going right. If we think that this student, for instance, we think this student should be making more money than they're making. They need to start at more money. They are. Yeah. It's helps, of course, our program for our students to leave us and go to work at a high rate of pay. And that's not typically a problem, but it is challenging for some smaller companies. And so sometimes it becomes a negotiation for us on behalf of our students, but also on behalf of the company. Sometimes we can talk to that student about why something is a certain way. But that feedback is important, especially when a company invests in new technology. Mm-hmm. When that company sees something out there like AI or something that they're looking to move into, we want to be a part of that. We want them to engage us, and we want to see how they progress toward that and why they progress toward that, and then how can we ourselves invest in that technology. And most of the time that also involves how can they help us, and our companies are great to do that.
And you talked on something, and this is something that I've always had this mindset about myself and anything that I do. Yes, you can harp on the good, but there's just as equal building ground on the bad. That way you can learn from your mistakes, learn from what doesn't work, because a lot of people think failure is a bad thing. In my opinion, is if a mistake or if you fail, if you learn a lesson from that, it's not a failure, it's not a mistake. So kind of touch on that. Exactly.
Well, I used to coach a little baseball, my sons and others in Little League, and I used to say a strikeout doesn't have to be a bad thing if you learn something from it. If you're a better batter after that strikeout. And so it's the same way here. We want to know. We tell our employers all the time, don't think you're complaining.
Right.
We want you to come back with us with feedback. We need that feedback.
Yes.
We need to hear it. We need to know. And, you know, we try never to say anything negative about our students, of course, but
right.
we want our students also to know that we're going to be honest with our employers. We're going to be honest with them. And so we work really hard in our grade structure that grades, you know, are instructive to them, not just complimentary or not just critical, but it's constructive for them to know why they earned that grade that they earned, and that we're not giving grades, we're awarding them whatever it is that they earn. And so it's really important for us, for companies, to let us know, you know, how we're doing, where we need to step up to the plate a little bit better, you know, how we struck out and why we struck out and what we can do to make that better. And also that's important because sometimes, you know, as a necessity, we have to tell the employer we only have them for so many hours a day, for so many days a week, for so many weeks in the 2 years that they're here, and that we are just not capable of moving them to a very, very high level that they may be looking for.
Right.
And so that helps the employer to understand what their expectations should be of that individual. And then most of our employers at this point already realize, they know what to expect, and so they know whether that graduate is measuring up or not measuring up to that expectation. And then that way they know that this is that individual student needs a little bit more development in a certain area. It's not that the college and our instructors didn't cover that material. That particular individual student just needs a little more development.
That's home. That's just like the Ravens. That's just like Pahokee, Florida. That's my second home. I got my degree from there, my first degree, college degree. It's part of my heart, it's part of my soul, it's part of my spirit. And, you know, it's everything. Itawamba Community College, baby, it's everything. It shaped me up to being a great man because it was part of the journey of me becoming the young man I am today. And it's home, man. That's it. Like, I could go there and lay my head down without no problems. Itawamba Community College, the best start here.
Zelle is the new way to move money, and it's already included inside your Renaissance Bank mobile app. No additional downloads, no additional signups. Whether you're paying a friend back for pizza or chipping in for gas, Zelle lets you send money quickly to almost anyone in your contacts. Here's how it works. Open the Renaissance app, log in, and tap the blue button with the white plus sign on it and select Zelle. Choose Send, Request, or Split. Pick who you want to exchange money with, either from your contacts or by entering a phone number or email. Choose the account you want to pay with and select an amount. Review and confirm. To stay organized, you can even include a short description of what each payment is for. That's it. Your money is on the move. Most payments take place in just minutes. No need to download another app. It all happens inside here. Balance the bill, split the check, and pay your way with Zelle. To learn more about Zelle, visit RenaissanceBank.com or download the Renaissance Bank mobile app to start using Zelle today. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
Happy Thanksgiving from Itawamba Community College. Register today for the spring semester at Wallet Hub's #1 community college in the state. Visit apply.iccms.edu to sign up today. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
Now, one thing that's interesting, everybody hears ICC Northeast. They automatically think rivalry. But this is a partnership that we have through the Create Foundation with Northeast. Just kind of tell us a little bit more about this.
Yeah, actually, we work very closely with all of our college partners, and this is actually a very unique partnership that we have. Create, through the Toyota Wellspring Fund, reached out to us and actually offered up some funding for dual credit opportunities in career education for students in the pool counties. That'd be Pontotoc, Union, and Lee County. And two of those counties are in our district, and one is not. And so it would present a problem if we didn't have a partnership with Northeast. And so we've worked really closely with them and Create to develop this opportunity in two areas. One is healthcare, and one is in information systems technology, so IT. And this is going to be a neat opportunity for a select group of students. It'll be a very small number of students that will have be able to actually do it, be selected for it. But we're going to reach out to those 3 counties and offer them a course each semester. One semester they'll go to Northeast, and one semester they'll come to us, and in those 2 areas, healthcare and IT. And so we work with Northeast so that we selected courses that we would accept, and also courses that they would accept in that discipline.
All right, and this Toyota Wellsprings Educational Fund, what is that?
That's a fund that was set up by Toyota whenever they made the announcement that they were going to build a plant in Mississippi. Then they said they would donate $50 million toward K through 12 education, and that money was given to Create to set up this fund. And now Create is looking for innovative ways to invest in K through 12 education. And one of the great ways that they've done that is they've placed career coaches in every school in those 3 counties, Pontotoc, Union, Lee County. And those career coaches have been pivotal to us to spread the word about career education. And they're going to be pivotal to spread the word and help us select the students for this opportunity in IT and health science.
Another partnership, I guess you can call it a partnership, is created with Mississippi State in December. You've got that a Bachelor's of Applied Science degree. Kind of tell everybody about this. I know it's probably been in the news a little bit since we've done this, but kind of touch on this and its importance with the connection here at ICC.
Well, we are really excited about the institutions of higher learning approving that policy that basically allows and encourages the 8 IHLs in the state to accept technical credit. Now, we've been doing some technical credit in certain areas.
Right.
A really good one, a student can come to us and take industrial maintenance, take 2 years of that curriculum and transfer to Mississippi State's industrial technology program, and immediately start as a junior, transfer all 60 hours at Mississippi State and get a BS in industrial technology. This is different. We're not going to mess with that. We're going to leave that in place, that and forestry and some other areas. What this did is create a Bachelor of Applied Science that basically said colleges, institutions of higher learning, these universities should look at accepting all 60 hours of a Associate of Applied Science degree that they would get here in a career field, and build on that, provide supplemental curriculum for the last 2 years to get them a bachelor's degree. Mississippi State jumped on it in the very beginning. Their president worked with our presidents, and so they probably in the front of that. Right now we're looking to sign a MOU with them in early December.
Yeah.
And we're excited about that. We're excited about the possibilities for our students. It's so important, Adam, because I'm a result of a university taking technical credit. I came a long time ago and got my Associate of Applied Science degree in tool and die, precision machining technology. And Mississippi State at the time worked with me to get me in that industrial technology program. This is even a better opportunity because all of our 26 technical programs that we have at this college now know that they have an opportunity to expand on their education and to get a bachelor's degree. It's not a terminal degree. It doesn't have to, their education doesn't have to end. And it also shows to parents and students alike that yes, you may go to work as an industrial maintenance technician, but you can add to your education as your skills increase, and you'll have other advancement opportunities down the road.
And the key word to that is opportunity.
Exactly.
I know our mantra here is the best start here, but I think the best thing to say would be opportunities start here as well, because yes, you can have a job, you can get to a certain plateau, but if you reach that plateau, then sometimes that challenge gets away from you. But if you do have those opportunities to continue to improve your place in life, it's got to be a great feeling to know now that with this partnership with Mississippi State, this just opens the door for so many more opportunities.
Oh, it certainly does. And I quote a friend of mine who owns a tool and die business in our district. I quote him all the time that when a mother approached him and said, I want my son to go get a business degree so that he can one day own a business like you. And he said, you know, when I started my business, I could have really used a business degree to help me with some accounting and some you know, how do I get incorporated and some principles of management. But had I not had my associate degree in tool and die and had my years of experience building tools and building dies, I wouldn't have a business. And so for a lot of students who are entrepreneurs, who want to own their own business, who want to advance into supervisory roles and management roles, and you know, this is a great opportunity for them, because many times they need that extra skill set they're going to get from a principles of management class. They're going to get from learning accounting and get from some of those business, some of those other higher level classes. That's going to be a real benefit to them. It might not appeal to a large percent of students, but I think over time they'll see this program grow and grow. And I think the universities really understand that too. We were in a meeting Monday about the BAS program, and all 8 IHLs were represented there. And I have to mention also, MUW already has this program in place and has had it in place for several years. And so they've been ahead of the game. And so really other institutions are catching up to them. And so they decided they would just move that bar a little bit higher. And now a student gets 60 hours in an Associate of Applied Science degree that includes 15 general education courses or hours. And MUW said, well, let's go ahead and move that bar up. Let's accept 90 hours from a community college. And so that's really big, because now they can go get 1 year at MUW and get a bachelor's degree, which means that we can keep them for another year and give them those general education courses, and then MUW will add 1 more year and give them a Bachelor of Applied Science degree. So we're excited about that as well.
Yeah, that's big time as well. All right, so say you're younger. You're not that 16, 17-year-old, but
I feel it.
Yeah. But you're interested in this line of work. You guys offer some manufacturing camps over the summer. A lot of those that sometimes I want to apply for, because I see some of the products you guys do, and of course we shoot some videos on that as well, and they just seem so much fun. You can learn so much. But not only are they educational, they're nationally recognized programs. You recently won a national award for one of your summer camps.
We did, and we were very surprised by it. So we've been doing this manufacturing camp now for 11 years. We just finished our 11th year this past summer. It's a manufacturing camp for kids. We say 12 to 15, but we don't really turn one down.
They do. I don't fit in that 12 to 15 range.
You're barely out of it, Adam. So it's a very hands-on, engaging camp, so interactive camp. And students come in on day one, and we put them the entire day in the machine shop, and they start running these machines, and they build an aluminum body pen from scratch. They take these stock material, they get to make plaques, they get to do all kinds of neat stuff throughout the week. We take them on a couple of plant tours, so they get to see what manufacturing really is today, see the technology in place, and see that there's all kinds of jobs in manufacturing that even if they go the 4-year track and they're going to go get a degree in engineering, they're going to go get a degree in business or in something else, there are job opportunities there. But there are a lot of job opportunities for someone that comes to get a career degree, certificate degree from us. And so they get to see that. But then they come back here and they get to play with these robots that you see. They get to play with the machines. They get to weld. And they get to spray paint. Now, back in, you're not quite as old as I am, Adam, but back in your day, I don't know how we found spray paint, but nobody had to teach me how to spray paint. It was trial and error. But kids today, parents they watch over them a little bit better now, I guess. But so they get to spray paint. That's always a big deal for them. They usually love the welding. But they get to see all aspects of manufacturing and what we teach here. And it's really been I can tell you countless positive stories, how it changed lives and impacted these students. And I'll just real briefly tell you one. We had a student many years ago that he said he wanted to be an engineer. When he came in to our camp, wanted to be an engineer, and didn't know exactly how he was going to make that happen. He just thought that it would happen. As a 12-year-old, he thought that would just happen. And he saw many things here that was of interest to him. And when he graduated high school, we were somewhat surprised to see him come back through the door and say, I want to sign up for industrial electricity, because we thought he was on the track to be an engineer. And he said he didn't know how he was going to pay for it.
Yeah.
And with our tuition assistance guarantee that we have, that basically pays his tuition if he graduated in one of the schools in our 5 counties and more counties now, then he was able to come tuition free. And we were able to give him an internship at Cooper Tire. And so he was actually making good money, working an internship and learning industrial electricity. And so a couple of years after he graduated from us, we knew he was working at Cooper Tire. We brought him back to talk to our campers to tell them his story about how he was, really living the good life with this 2-year degree. What we didn't know was that he had just turned in his 2 weeks notice that he was leaving Cooper Tire to go down to the Golden Triangle area for a job making $36 an hour.
Oh, wow.
He had saved about $80,000 over those 2 years, and that now he could afford to go to Mississippi State to engineering school.
Wow.
And so he worked at a company, at an industry in the Golden Triangle area, so that he could go to school at Mississippi State. He had the funds to do that, making very good money.
Right.
And now he's an engineer at MTD. So he's back in our area now as an engineer that he always wanted to be. And when I told that story at an education summit last year with about 300 people in the room, I said, how many of you would love to hire an entry-level engineer right out of Mississippi State who typically are green as a gourd? This guy's going to have about 6 or 7 years of industrial maintenance experience.
Yeah.
And, almost every hand that was in manufacturing went up. So that's a success story for us. I didn't talk about what you asked, and so I'll get to that point.
Yeah.
So we love our camp. We think it's a really good thing to teach our students and our teachers. We also have a teacher camp. This year we were surprised to learn that we had been nominated for a Future of Industry Award at the Nuts, Bolts, and Thingamajigs Foundation at their annual gala.
Right.
And so Nuts, Bolts, and Thingamajigs is a subsidiary of the Fabrication Manufacturers Association. And so they were a sponsor of our camp for several years. They have a limit on how many years they can sponsor it. Right. But they still send us T-shirts, and they're still a part of it. And so they've recognized now nationally with that award that we're doing good things here for teaching our students about the opportunities that are available in manufacturing.
Happy Thanksgiving from Itawamba Community College. Register today for the spring semester at Wallet Hub's #1 community college in the state. Visit apply.iccms.edu to sign up today. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
You live life on your own terms. You won't be told what you can't do. And we're here to back you. From the boardroom to the big stage, Renaissance Bank supports women striving for success. Because greatness isn't held to anyone's expectations, except yours. So if anyone says you can't, prove them wrong. Rise with Renaissance, supporting women in the communities they influence every day.
At Itawamba Community College, your education is our top priority. With a 20-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio, you will get the help that you need from your instructors. With 3 locations in Fulton, Tupelo, and Belden, ICC offers classes that will prepare you to enter almost any job field of your choice. Learn more about Wallet Hub's #1 community college in Mississippi and the 25th best in the country by visiting iccms.edu or apply online at apply.iccms.edu. Itawamba Community College. The best start here. All right, so now let's kind of shift it to a little personal note on this end. So you talked about the success story of the student during the camp thing. How does that make you feel, knowing that you and everybody that works here at the Belden Center are making that big of a difference in so many lives?
Well, of course, I swell up with pride when I see, when I call a name that I recognize that's going to walk across the stage because they've been a CTE student here, and I've seen them and I've interacted with them, and I've seen how their skills have progressed. And I swell up with pride when I see that student sign that he's going to go to an internship at a company, and I know that student is going to start. He graduated high school maybe in May, and now he's going to be making $14, $15 an hour in an internship. That's life changing, and that is my mantra with my faculty all the time. Is that that's what we're doing here. We are truly changing lives, and that's how every instructor here at ICC feels about the students we have in front of them, and that if they learn this material that we place before them, then we have just added value to them. I used to tell high school students that when they graduate high school, they have a skill set, and we've placed a value on that skill set. It's called minimum wage. Now let us take that skill set and build on it, right. And when you graduate, then you're going to have an opportunity to triple that minimum wage. And so our manufacturing camp is the first step to us introducing these students to the opportunities that lie ahead of them if they are interested in a two-year degree. 70% of the jobs in today's industry require a skill set, right. Not a four-year degree. And we've gone through a couple of generations now where we have really emphasized that every student has to have a bachelor's degree no matter what it's in. Right. And those days have changed now. And if they don't have a skill set, that bachelor's degree doesn't do them any good. Right. And so that's what we're doing. We are in the business of changing lives and giving them skill sets and teaching them how to do things for themselves and how that they can earn more than a sustainable living wage. They are going to be in that middle class when they graduate.
And one final question: what does ICC mean to you?
Well, ICC means the world to me, and I'd have to tell you a fairly lengthy story that you don't have time for, but just suffice it to say that I've only really worked in two places in my life, and the first company paid for me to come back to school because I did not come to college right out of high school, for me to get a degree in tool and die technology. And I worked there 11 years, and the only place that could have recruited me away from that company was ICC. And so I continued. They showed me a person who didn't have a path to college, to be honest, didn't have parents, first generation college student, didn't have parents that emphasized college at all, no other sibling that went to college, and FMC was the company that gave me that start and said you need to go to college, but ICC was the entity that gave me that education and showed me that I actually can go to college. And so I continued my education, and that also showed me what value there was in what ICC was doing. And so I might not have come back. I think there's great value in math and English and history. I actually love history. I don't know that I love some of those others, yeah. But ICC could not have recruited me to come back here to be an English teacher probably, but CTE has changed my life, and it doubled my salary at that company, and it laid the foundation for me to go extend my education, but also to get promotions at work. And so I saw what advancement opportunities and what upward mobility I was given that I didn't have to begin with. And my parents taught me to work hard, and I give them all the credit for that. But the rest of the credit belongs to those two entities, that company and ICC. And that's what I'm here doing now, is I want to make sure that other individuals understand what opportunities lie ahead for them to do the same thing. And they may choose to be an electrician the rest of their life, and that is great because we need electricians, yes. We need HVAC technicians, and we need welders. But they may choose after a few years to become a supervisor or to become a purchasing agent or to own their own business, and we are providing them the foundation for that. So it's as I've said a couple of times already, we're in a life-changing business, and we do it every single day. Every person at this college, if they are in the Wynn Job Center, if they are in WLA, or they're in adult basic education, are in the business of changing lives. And every person that walks through that door, we look at where they are, where they want to get to, and how can we influence that and have a positive impact on their lives and on our community.
Well, Barry, we appreciate your time today. And we appreciate everything that you and everybody here at the Belden Center do, because that's exactly what you're doing. You're impacting lives in such a positive way, and part of that ICC family and part of that ICC mantra, and we appreciate everything that you do.
Absolutely, Adam, and thank you for all that you do.